Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And that, I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to recruit you, and our running back coach didn't take the test. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show. It's the Martin Houston Show powered by Box Eye Care. We're live, local, and ready to get things rolling right here in your home for Alabama sports. Once again, that's Box Eye Care. Dr. Daniel Box, 205-342-0660. Box Eye Care. Tell you more about them in just a moment. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show. It's a Thursday morning, and we're ready to get things rolling. I invite you to get in on the conversation at 205-342-9904. 205-342-9904. That is the hotline. You can comment, react, ask questions, respond to questions in the live chat over at the Martin Houston Show on Facebook or on the live stream. So glad that you are in it with us this morning. Thank you for being a part of the program. And got, several topics we can get to. Teased the tight end room conversation yesterday, so definitely want to circle back on some of that on today. And then we'll continue the conversation around the running back room. As we look to the running back room, Coach Gillespie had some comments on yesterday. So we'll talk about him and what he had to say as well. So good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Doing well. How are you?
Doing well. As we move into this morning, I want to remind you that this is the day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. And once again, it is the Martin Houston Show powered by Box Eye Care. And we're excited to announce their new location. They've moved to new location located down on Oscar Baxter Drive, 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. And they're bringing you a brand new lab, lots of new stylish frames and a fresh look just for you in store. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, faster service, all the same great service that you've come to know and trust through the years from Dr. Daniel Box. Discover full service eye care at the new Box Eye Care location with their in-house lab, offering unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in T-Town and in West Alabama. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses, in most cases in less than an hour. Visit boxeyecare.com or call 205-342-0660. Dr. Daniel Box and Box Eye Care, your vision, our priority. X, you actually have a personal testimony, right?
I do. My daughter is in second grade, and she had a pair of glasses that she got back in January, and due to just being, a kid, they got a little warped, and my wife took her in on Tuesday to get a new pair, as the school year started yesterday, and it was an hour hour and a half, and they were ready to go.
Yeah, definitely. So I told him he had taken care of my daughter, my granddaughter. And he was like, didn't have any idea. So it's always good when they live up to the expectation. And I think in this case, they exceeded the expectations, not just with the level of service, but also with the quality that was delivered. So go check them out if you're in need anywhere in the Tuscaloosa, West Alabama area. All right, X, as we move along this morning, little recruiting news. I would assume you got a little roster management, recruiting news. Anything going on? Now, I know it's kind of a crazy quiet time, but anything you got to update us on?
Yeah, unfortunately, yesterday Alabama lost out on 5-star wide receiver Khalid Lockett. He was a guy that um, Keelan Russell was keen on trying to bring into this class. He committed to Texas, so he's staying close to home. But Alabama's going to continue to recruit guys throughout the entire through the entire season until they sign on that dotted line. Then, of course, we know that last year or last week or so, Alabama lost safety commit Derek Smith to Auburn, but they did offer his twin brother, Eric Smith, right after, who is a 6'6", 195-pound wide receiver. He's a 3-star, so that's a guy that I know a lot of Alabama fans would love to have with the potential that Caleb Odom has, when we talked about yesterday, who is already at 6'5", 227. So, another year and you get a 6'6" guy who can put some weight on. I think Alabama fans would be excited about that. There are rumors, of course, that Auburn is trying to flip running back commit 4-star Anthony Rogers out of Carver High School in Montgomery. But even if that does happen, I know people go, oh my God, we're losing another in-state kid. I truly believe Kalen Deere will be a running back in this class that we land. And also, I do believe that we will sign 2 running backs, and Shy Mills Knight, who was a teammate of freshman wide receiver Amari Jefferson out of Tennessee, would be the guy to turn to for that second back if Rogers was to decommit.
Do you think that Deere actually committing will cause the flip, and Auburn is aware of that?
I think so. I think if Deere commits, that's when you'll see Anthony flip. His nickname's Turbo. He's not.
Do you think Auburn even cares if he flips? Is that the message that they're selling right now?
I think that's the message that they're selling. Now, will Rogers flip? Don't know. He did not visit this summer, and he's the only commit who didn't visit. Now, granted, he didn't visit Auburn either. So he's just been extremely quiet and really seems to be focused on his senior season.
Well, that's actually a good thing. So for a kid to, you could have another Coleman who's flipped, or as one of my followers said, Xavier, he said he's flip-flopping. So anyway, that was corny, but yeah. Pat, you're in with an X. What you got?
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, y'all all realize that Russell is in the ear of the number 1 wide receiver in the country day in and day out, and he is our biggest recruiter. And I hadn't given up. How about you, X?
On DeCorian Moore?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, we have seen crazier things happen. Now we know.
Explain what Pat's saying. Y'all, you two got to realize not everybody follow recruiting the way
DeCorian Moore is teammates.
There you go.
DeCorian Moore is the number 1 wide receiver in the country. and he is currently committed to Oregon, but his high school quarterback is Keelan Russell. So that's what Pat's getting at. And so he does talk to him every day in practice. He's right there. Hey, we might be doing big things at Bama. We can continue this high school success, which they're trying to end on 3 straight high school championships. So, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a guy that could bolster things. And when your quarterback is going to a big school, that always helps.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just gets me that they've got timing is so crucial with a wide receiver, and to have a wide receiver that's been your go-to guy and to have them on the same team, oh my goodness!
Right, for 3 years, these guys, going on 3 years, they've been each other's go-to guy.
Batman and Robin, for darn sure. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up that I hadn't given up, and that I do know that Coach wants to bring in another top-notch wide receiver in this class. And what you just mentioned, though, about down in Selma, that might be another route to go. And like you said, you can't coach 6'6". You either got 6'6" or you don't. And so, you guys have a. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said I don't, Pat, but I'll let you go with this. I'll let you go with this thought, Pat. I think that what's the kid's name at the receiver for Keelan Russell? What's his name?
Decory
Moore. I think the more he sees this Alabama offense, if he sees that it duplicates what Washington did, and he see 2 or 3 guys go to the league again, Pat, you have to understand that if DeBoer sends 1 or 2 receivers into the league next year, especially if they're top 1, 2, 3 rounds, he would have sent like five first, second rounders in 2 years. So if I'm a wide receiver, no matter where I'm committed, if Jalen Milroe and the guys have that type of season, you'll see him get a lot. There'll be several guys that'll double think, Pat, that commitment. So, all right, thanks, Pat.
Right. Thank y'all. Have a great day.
All right, X, I'll let you respond to my comment on the other side. Hey, you got Timberland in West Alabama. North River Timber Company has you covered since 2011. Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties, and that continues to grow. They offer comprehensive timber management, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized. Call North River Timber Company today and unlock the true potential of your land, or email them at northrivertimberco. That's northrivertimberco at gmail.com. Or once again, that phone number 205-242-5127.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good Thursday morning to you. Lots of kids' first day of school on today, and so we do have some traffic delays to go along with that to be expected. 359, that northbound off-ramp to 2059. Watch out for an accident blocking the right lane of the ramp that's got traffic pretty thick. And we've also got delays on Boone Boulevard on the southbound lanes just past McFarland Boulevard. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by KFC.
It's the year-end clearance sale at Townsend Nissan going on now. You can save thousands. See BJ or Kylan today at Townsend Nissan, your savings place.
The new taste of KFC deals are meals starting at just $4.99. Grab a hot, juicy drum and thigh, a buttery biscuit, and creamy mashed potatoes with gravy. Only at KFC. It's finger licking good. Prices and participation vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
Hey, Bama fans. This is quarterback Hi, Jalen Monroe for my friends at Tuscaloosa Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Before you shop anywhere else for a Dodge Ram truck, a Jeep, a Dodge Challenger, or a Dodge Charger, shop local. An amazing selection of new and pre-owned vehicles are on the lot now. Go see for yourself at 550 Skyline Boulevard East in Tuscaloosa. Or you can shop online at TuscaloosaCDJR.com. At Tuscaloosa Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, you pick it out and we'll work it out. Roll Tide!
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how happy and healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Introducing Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend, a premium freeze-dried raw dog food.
I have been feeding them Dr. Marty's freeze-dried raw formula for years. And this food is a big part of why their jaws are more flexible, their teeth are cleaner, and their coats shinier, and why they seem more youthful and playful.
And dog parents across the U.S. are loving it.
My dog Hazel is a 10-and-a-half-year-old golden retriever, and ever since I've been feeding her Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend food, she is like a puppy again. It's unbelievable.
We're so confident your dog will love it. Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee. And for a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of Cod Krispies. They're wild-caught, ultra-crunchy cod skin treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511 today. All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The weather stays hot and dry today with a sunny sky, the high 95. Clear tonight, the low 75. Tomorrow sunny with a high at 94. Saturday and Sunday, mostly sunny both days and not as humid. Highs over the weekend around 90. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
They were critical, really critical. One tight end, two tight ends. They give us extra gaps in the run game. They can help us in protection. They're guys that can stretch the field. They've made some big plays that way. They got to know the whole offense because they know the protections, the routes, the run blocking schemes, and so they're all really smart guys that have caught on quickly and. All the moving pieces we want to do with them, we haven't held back at all. So it's a critical piece to our offense. It always has, going back 20 plus years. Having that guy that isn't just controlling the middle of the field, but can get vertical, stress you to the sidelines. So both a vertical and a horizontal stretch, really important, not just in our run game, but our pass game.
That was Coach Kalen DeBoer talking about the impact of the tight ends. I want to thank Ryan Fowler of the game for that audio that he got out at practice. But we're going to break down that conversation about the tight end room. He said so much there, it may be worth a repeat as we kick off this second quarter. I want to remind you, go check out athletesthread.com/collections/Martin-Houston and get your officially licensed co-branded legacy gear and more. Or you can just scan the QR code. All right, X. It was a interesting conversation there. Like I said, maybe worth going back and listening to again. But man, before we get into that tight end room conversation, did you have anything else from the recruiting side that you wanted to hit?
Yeah, no, I think you hit it. It's going to take for some of these positions, some of these guys to see what this team does this year, and that should be expected based off of just new coaching staff, new everything with this team. So if Alabama comes out and wins, I think you'll see some things start to happen as the season goes.
Absolutely. When we look at that tight end room, he talked about several different aspects of it in terms of what they add to the formations, X, what they add to the situation when you look at the run game. In the run game, they add the extra gap. Saban used to always say, they create the C gap and the D gap. So if you're looking at that from a standpoint, we usually call them 1, 3, 5, and 7, or 2, 4, 6, and 8. They call them A, B, C, D. A being between the guard and center. B being between the guard and tackle. C being between the tackle and whatever is out there. If it's just open space and a tight end, no tight end, then that's where your gap number of options for gaps runs out. That's why when you have a tight end who can be an inline tight end X and a guy you can spread out, your offense becomes, almost impossible to stop, because if you come out X and they have a tight end, they have a defense where they got 7, 8 guys in the box, and you come out in a situation where your tight end is spread out, you have the option that if they don't adjust to that and you have a run play, you just bring the tight end in, right? Or better yet, if you have an athletic tight end that can stretch the field, as Coach DeBoer said, down the middle of the field, vertical or horizontal, and make them either chase him down the field or across the field, then you now have an advantage, because they either have to move a run-stopping linebacker out, or they put a safety in if they adjust to it, and then you bring them back in and you run it on the end line. So much versatility there in terms of that. Any comment on that? And then I'm going to talk about let's talk about this room specifically.
Yeah, the versatility, I think, is what's going to make this room great. And even though he is going to be playing the wide receiver position, I think you'll see Caleb Odom in a lot of situations that you would normally see the quote unquote receiving tight end in the red zone in situations like that.
Absolutely. And here's another guy who he was asked really quick about the tight end in terms of the field and playing ball in this DeBoer offense, and it wasn't a quick answer. It wasn't a long answer, but CJ Dupree talking about what it's like to play in this offense for Kalen DeBoer as a tight end. So here's what he had to say. We'll listen to him, then we'll come back, and I'll let you comment on that. I want to thank Bama Online for this video as well.
For Coach DeBoer's new offense, historically, tight ends in his offense get the ball a lot. That the room, you usually have 2, 3, 4 guys play a lot of balls thrown that way. So I'm really excited to see how I fit in once we get moving in the season.
All right, so earlier in that video, he said, I didn't know really a lot about DeBoer, but he's found out real quick that DeBoer uses the tight end, multiple tight ends, and that room is really excited about the opportunity that's presented there. Honing in, on that room, X. And like I said, I think you have the room plus Caleb Odom. I just think that he's going to be such a mismatch. And a lot of times when we don't have per se the second tight end or a tight end in, our 5-wide set may give us some looks. They may not put his hand in the dirt, Caleb, but I think that they'll bring him closer. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, and I definitely think that's what you're going to see. I think that's definitely what you're going to see out of this offense. And Caleb Odom is one of those guys. All of them. I think with the size that they put on it, it's a healthy size. And you look at the different roles in this offense, you're going to have of your top 3 tight ends that I really think that you'll see on the field this year, and that's Dupree, Oots, and Cuevas. They all do things differently. And so I think we might see some 3 tight end situations in certain or formations in certain situations that you get all 3 of those guys and you have a miss. Oots is your big. He's listed as a tight end, but let's be real, he's a fullback that they move around. Yeah, Dupree is your traditional.
I'm not sure he's a guard that doesn't play fullback, tight end, and move around. You say he was like 270.
Yeah. And then Dupree's that more traditional tight end that can block in line but has good hands. And then you look at a guy like Cuevas, and he's the move guy. You move him all around the place. You get him in mismatch situations through motions, and I think that's what you're going to continue to see.
Yeah, as we look at them, undoubtedly they all have a similar. I guess the ones who have beards have a similar look. They shave the middle of their beard. If you missed the video clip, you can go back and catch it over on Facebook at the Martin Houston Show on Facebook. But supposedly they all have cut their beard similar if they have a beard. I don't know if they all grew one out or not. We're going to let Philip come in here, X, but let's talk about the tight end room. You kind of hit each guy, but let's really dig into why. I cannot emphasize enough what role the tight end can have in terms of impacting an offense, and then let's talk about what our expectations are for that room. But before we do that, we got Philip on the line. Philip, you're in with Martin and Xavier. What's on your mind?
Well, good morning. Just the offense is interesting to me, and the points you're bringing out about tight end are interesting because I've always felt like a good tight end was going to really make things click and make things harder to defend, but not to take away from your thunder. And I know you're focusing on that.
No,
the thing about
Philip, remember the name of the show. The name of the show is what? The Sound of Bama Sports. Your show, your team. So if you got something to talk about it, man, talk about it. I'll just flow with you.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you. The thing about the offense just that really is intriguing to me is you got all those parts. You got the tight ends. You got these really gifted wide receivers and all that, and gifted running backs. But man, the ability that Jalen Milroe's got to get out of trouble and go 55 yards with his legs is just, to me, makes Alabama's offense just absolutely lethal.
100%. I mean, he is the X factor in this offense, not only because he controls who gets the ball, but what he can do with the ball himself. I mean, Phil, I know this is funny to talk about, but the new college football game came out, and Jalen Milroe might be the most untouchable player in the game. Just because, and that's what I believe he can be during the regular season. I mean, he is a guy that has the ability to do a little bit of everything.
X, Philip, in honor of what you said, let's see if any of the coaches at Alabama agree with you. Here's Coach Robert Gillespie talking about Jalen Milroe and what he brings to the table. And I think X, he actually may even comment on what you just said as well. Here's Coach Gillespie when they were talking about Milroe and play fakes and play action.
When you have a quarterback like Miller who can run the ball, how much does it open up maybe for the running backs?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. You know, Coach Sheridan does a really good job of emphasizing, carrying out your fakes. If you hand the ball off, carry it out. I mean, Milroe's one of the most explosive guys in college football. Heck, I think if you look at college, the football game, everybody wants to play with Milroe in the game. So everybody's going to be afraid of what he can do with the ball in his hand. So when he does hand it off, he's going to attract a lot of players, defenders with him. So it definitely helps the run game when a guy like him, if he hands the ball off and he runs left and the ball's going right, guys going to attract him a lot. So he's done a great job of understanding that he wants to be a complete player, not just a guy who plays well with the ball in his hand, but doing the small things that helps to create lanes for everybody else.
All right. Philip, I'll let you respond because we got to get the break, but did you hear what he said, Philip? I mean, you were on. That's what Coach Gillespie said is he kind of brings that attention.
I did, and I just want to tell you right now, I didn't hear Gillespie's interview before I said what I had to say, but so I didn't cheat. But yeah, I think Jalen brings an ingredient that's just, I mean, oh gosh, I can't imagine trying to figure out how to contain that if I was defensive coordinator for another team. And I'm glad it's their problem, not ours.
Hey, that's Philip, and that was Coach Gillespie, courtesy of Bama Online. We appreciate them getting that audio up. X, we can respond to that, but also want to circle back to the tight end on the other side. And you're listening to the Martin Houston Show, and we want to thank the fine folks over at Taco Casa. Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. They've been doing it the right way each and every day for 50 years and counting. That's Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value. We'll be back on the other side with the Martin Houston Show, powered by Box Eye Care.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Head to Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance and save up to 30% on select Tempur-Pedic clearance beds. Plus, get a $300 gift, all with free and fast delivery. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Julio Jones Kia in Tuscaloosa wants to ask you, what can you afford to pay for a new car? $199 a month? $299 a month? $399 a month? Less or more? You tell us. Right now, come see us, tell us what you can pay a month, and we'll do our best to get you in a new Kia. Maybe it's a Forte, a Sorrento, or even a Telluride. We get the highest value on trades in Alabama. Julio Jones Kia off Greensboro Ave. Stop in today or visit us online at buyfromjulio.com.
Buyers must have qualified credit. Not all buyers will qualify.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SUPPORT, or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off. roundhouseprovisions.com, code SUPPORT.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You can be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show, powered by Box Eye Care. But also, if you're looking to power up your devices, that's any device, you need to go see Dixie Battery Supply. Come to their battery store located in Tuscaloosa, a couple locations around Tuscaloosa to better serve you. Power up any device, find the commercial batteries that you're after, as well as never feel powerless again. Stock up with batteries from the Tuscaloosa store, Dixie Battery Supply. Find them online at dixiebatterysupply.com. All right. X, as we continue to move on, had some great conversation going on around the tight end room, but Philip brought up the running back room, so we transitioned to that for a moment. I want to talk more about the running back room, so we're not going to go deep into that conversation. But Jalen Milroe, I think, as you talk about the tight end position, I think you can bring Jalen into that conversation. Coach Gillespie there telling us that he may be the most dynamic guy on the EA Sports game. I've not played it. You have, and you say he could probably is sure like George Teague was. George Teague was the player when they first came out with it when we won the national championship. You couldn't control him, X. Like if he the ball, you just run. You know how fast some guys are. You just be out of bounds. You try to make a move. You're gonna make just a simple move on a guy. You go 10 yards out of bounds, man. It was so hard to control him. They make it sound like. Go ahead.
For me, my age group, it's Michael Vick from the 04 or 05 Madden game. And that's just same position, unbelievably athletic in the game. I saw a clip of a guy yesterday who was playing against Miro, and Miro had some crazy touchdown run where he broke a couple tackles, bounced off of guys, and then shot out past everybody. And he was just like, you know what, that's it. And he pretended he was like, I'm calling the cops on Miro because it just ain't fair.
Well, it's interesting to watch that whole setup, X. But let's circle back to the tight end room. All right. In order of playing depth chart, kind of what's your order?
I'm going Dupree, Oots, Cuevas. Kind of already talked about where the roles I think they'll have, but I think those are the top three in that order.
So you have Cuevas jumping ahead of the couple of guys that were already here, huh? Is that because of his experience in the offense, or is that because you think he's more talented, or is it a combination thereof? And we'll talk about the other guys that you put him in front of.
When I look at him, I think it's the knowledge of the offense. I think it's skill set that really set him apart. Now, talent, I mean, that's up to for grabs. But I think when you look at a guy like a Danny Lewis, he fits that Dupree mold. So, Danny's not going to get on the field in front of Dupree. You look at Lockwood, not really sure what mold he fits in because I just hadn't seen enough of him. And then I saw Jay Lindsey, the true freshman. He's already 255 pounds.
Right.
So does he stay around that and play that Dupree position, or does he continue to grow, ends up being Oots? As far as skill set, that's to be seen.
Yeah, when you look at this room, man, it's deep. First of all, Oots is the short guy. Let that sink in. Oots is a short guy. He's not the little guy. He's a short guy. Cuevas is 6'3", so he's an inch shorter. But all of them 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", and taller. Okay, I think it's really based on what we're trying to accomplish in that moment. Okay, I think you're gonna see Dupree and Lewis out there together because, like you said, I think that they kind of bring the same skill set, right?
Right.
Now, I think that looking into the future, I think these two guys, we're not going to talk much about them this morning. I think Lindsey and Lockwood are going to become those dudes because they will have multiple years in this offense.
All right.
And this is, especially for Lindsey, this is only offense he's gonna know. So gonna kind of put them to a side. They may or may not break in this year. I don't see it with the fact that you have Lewis, Dupree, Cuevas, and Oots. So typical tight end inline formation, Oots gonna be the dude. I mean, if they start the first play of the game off, Oots is gonna be that inline tight end if it's a one-back offense. All right. But he plays. I think he plays a lot of two tight end formation. So I actually see Oots even being, if you go back and watch the Florida game in 1992, I know I'm taking you guys way back in the archives. You go back and watch that first ever SEC championship game, you will see that they used me in the wingback position. Now, I got down in a stance just like I did from fullback, but I was the end man on the at the edge of the line of scrimmage. I wasn't on the line of scrimmage. I was just off the line, and I created what, X?
Mismatch.
Not just a mismatch, but I created even another gap to run in, because now we had A gap, B gap, C gap, and then I created a D gap off the edge of the tight end, and then you had the E gap that you could run all the way outside of me. And most of the time, that was going to put me in one or two situations. It was going to put you in a situation where I was blocking an outside linebacker, and if the outside linebacker came outside, it actually created more space inside. Okay? If they didn't bring that guy out, then they walked a DB up, it created a mismatch in the blocking. I think you'll see them use this where they have a tight end and have Oots on the outside of the tight end, and it'll be for the run game. But if you don't play it correctly, CJ and Lewis will be able, as Coach said, to stretch the middle of the field, because this is what ends up happening, X. When you cover it, the tight end, the outside linebacker, if he's head up, he's hooked. If he's inside, he's pinned. If he's on the outside edge and he has to cover that tight end, he's on his shoulder. And the quarterback can just hit him. If the inside linebacker has to come out, then he's at a disadvantage because he has to run out to cover him. If it's a safety, they're back in coverage. So it creates such problems. And I think Oots and CJ will be the first two guys, but I think Lewis will be out there. Your thoughts there?
Oh, I definitely think Lewis gets on the field. I think if we go big, especially with three tight ends, I think he's the guy. When they need that move tight end, I think you see Cuevas, and then in certain situations, instead of a tight end, you see Caleb maybe like close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, so it's going to create a lot of diversity. And one of the things that we talked about, and we did not do it last year, if you watch the NFL, the great quarterbacks, what have they all had? If you go back and look at Aikman, they had all these great wide receivers, right? But they had a tight end that they could trust. You go back and look at Joe Montana, he had his Clark. You look at Tom Brady, he had his dude. You look at,
Peyton Manning had several tight ends.
Yeah, all of them have that guy, right? Mahomes has.
You look at the best quarterback now. Yeah, best quarterback now, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes.
Why is that so important? Because they're the safety guy. Where is Georgia without Bowers the last couple of years? I
don't think they are back-to-back champions without him. I don't think they're in the position that they were this past season, being as close without him.
Yeah, and you saw
he was hurt in the SEC championship game, and you saw how that affected their offense.
Absolutely, and we still, as many great tight ends as we've had at Alabama, I do not feel like we have ever in since Saban got here, we've had a lot of dudes, and I don't think we've ever maximized their potential. I think that when Homer Smith was here, what's the name called 50 catches. So with that said, X, before we get to break, actually, I'll let you answer it on the other side, give you a little chance to think about it. How many, who's going to be the leading receiver in the total yards? And then I'm going to throw a little caveat in on the other side. So think through that process as we go. And as we get ready to get out of here and come back for the fourth quarter, want to encourage you to go check out the venue, food, music, and more. Come and taste what's new at Tuscaloosa's newest hangout, where you can find good times and a safe, fun hangout experience for family and friends. Check out Finish Pub, enjoy frozen sweet treats, specialty pizzas and subs at Lisa's Sweet Shop, or all-day breakfast and burgers from Ramajama's. The venue is the perfect spot for any occasion. It's really good if you ask your wife where she want to go on Sunday after church to eat, and she says she don't care, but she really does. Well, you got 3 options right there at one location. It's called the Venue, 6052 Watermelon Road, Northport. Find them online at venuetuscaloosa.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Kiddos are all back to school, and it's packed in on the roadways right now this Thursday morning. So we've got an accident on University on the eastbound lanes to Skyland Boulevard. This is creating a bit of a delay. And down in Foster's, taking a look at this one on the southwest lanes of 2059, just past Holly Springs. Watch out for that fender bender. It's got traffic crawling not only on the southeast lanes, but those eastbound lanes are crawling as well. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Thursday morning. Traffic is the news this morning locally. Numerous emergency crews are on the scene of a major traffic crash on I-2059 eastbound. Traffic is backed up past the I-359 connector. If you're headed to Mercedes or to Birmingham, you might want to find an alternate route. Traffic is beginning to back up on Skyland Boulevard. Morning traffic will keep you updated. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather coverage. It's free. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
On the next Inside the Locker Room with Coach Wimp Sanderson and Barry Sanderson.
Tune in Thursday, 7:30. We'll go with J.C. Sherbert. We'll go around the SEC with J.C. In the second hour, Steve Skipper, who is working on a new painting of Coach Saban, will join us. Plus, we'll look to take your phone calls throughout the show.
Inside the Locker Room, weekdays 7 to 9 a.m. on Tide 100.9 and Tide100.9.com.
This report is sponsored by Tire Rack. Nearly 3,000 teen drivers die in car crashes each year. Tire Rack Street Survival is designed to save lives. The one-day hands-on driving school gives teens experience in car control through exercises that include emergency braking and skid recovery. Find a class near you at TireRack.com/survive.
It's the year-end clearance sale at Townsend Nissan going on now. You can save thousands. See BJ or Kylan today at Townsend Nissan, your savings place.
It's time to talk with your doctor about your risk for chronic kidney disease, CKD. If you have high blood pressure or diabetes, or if you smoke, you are at risk for CKD. Ask your doctor about your kidney function. The health of your kidneys is usually checked at least once or twice a year. Let your doctor know you are concerned about the health of your kidneys and ask what you can do to keep your kidneys healthy.
Hi, this is Gene Poole.
And this is John Poole.
At Hudson Poole Fine Jewelers, we believe in celebrating life's special moments in elegance and style.
Whether you're searching for the perfect engagement ring or a meaningful anniversary gift,
a beautiful birthday present, or just because surprise.
At Hudson Poole Fine Jewelers, we have exceptional pieces to mark your special occasion.
Visit Hudson Poole Fine Jewelers, downtown Tuscaloosa, or at hudsonpoole.com.
I'm embarrassed to say this. I've been using deodorant on my armpits for 30 years, and anytime I noticed odor anywhere else, I thought I needed another shower, I wasn't clean, or I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then my gynecologist told me about Lumi. It's a whole body deodorant for pits, feet, and privates that controls odor anywhere and everywhere on your body. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, anywhere on my body. And that reassurance is worth every penny.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code SHOWER and get 15% off your first purchase with code SHOWER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code SHOWER for 15% off your first purchase. With over 200,000 five-star reviews, I am so sure you're going to love it. Or return it for free with Lumi's 60-day money-back guarantee. That's LUME deodorant.com, code SHOWER to save 15% today.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the fourth and final quarter of today's program. Want to remind you that we have the West Alabama High School football pigskin preview going to be starting in just a couple of weeks. Actually next week. A week from today will be our first kickoff show. We're going to be highlighting and spotlighting all of as many of the teams as possible in West Alabama. We will be highlighting and reached out to a lot of the coaches, and they're all excited about it. And the show will present a game of the week featuring the coaches, competing coaches, and hopefully a couple of their superstar players or their playmakers or their leaders. They can set the criteria for who they bring on. So we'll be doing that. The first 3 weeks, the 15th to the 22nd and the 29th will be at 7. Then once we hit into the month of September, it'll move to 6 o'clock p.m. So tell your family and friends about the West Alabama High School Pigskin Preview Show. It'll be X and myself hosting that on Thursday night. Same bat time, same bat channel. If you're listening on the radio airwaves, you'll be able to catch us there. If you're listening and viewing on Facebook, you'll be able to follow us there as well. If you know anybody looking that wants to support high school football, tell them to email me at martin@martinhouston.org. We do have some sponsorship opportunities available. All right, guys, let's keep the conversation rolling. X, earlier, Curtis Moore II said perhaps the board will use those tight ends like we expected Tommy Reese to use them last season, just like Tommy Reese used them in Notre Dame, which is so crazy to think about. Not sure why Tommy Reese didn't use the tight ends more last year. Hands up, right? We had some dudes last year. We didn't use them. So let's look at the tight end room. What's your thoughts in terms of who's going to be the lead catcher and what's their yards? Is X there? Hello?
Out of the tight end room or overall?
The tight end room. Just talking about the tight end room.
I think it's going to be CJ. I think CJ is the guy. When you look at everything that he brings to the table.
And what's the yards? And the number of catches?
I'll go 37 catches for 480 yards.
So average a little over 10 yards a catch. Will the tight end room
What about the tight end room? Did we lose him? The different skill sets I think that this tight end room has even compared to the tight end room at Washington, I mean, I think Cuevas coming is a bigger get than people realize at this point in time. So I think CJ's the guy. I think Cuevas might have the most impact, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I was disconnected temporarily. So did you answer the question about whether this room will be a 1,000-yard room?
Oh, I didn't hear the rest of the question. I think he gets close. I think he gets close overall.
Yeah, I think you may have some little ones getting ready for school behind you.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Chase, let me ask you, Chase, really quick. You think this room gets to 1,000-yard room?
I think so. I think there's a lot of upside to this offense. It's going to be exciting. I don't know. I've just never felt this much excitement about not only the current room we guys talking about, like, the quarterbacks, the running backs, the tight ends, the wide receivers, like Kalen DeBoer and the offensive coordinator really has something cooking here that people don't really realize. Like, I was able to watch a lot of their games when I was in California. Crazy the Pac-12 was not a thing anymore, but Kalen knew what he was doing, and I'm really excited for this season.
Yeah, I think without a doubt they get to 1,000 yards as a room. I think this offense ends up with somewhere north of 4,000 passing yards, which means that you probably have a couple guys either at 1,000 or pushing 1,000 in the wide receiver room. I think then you get 1,000 or so from the tight end room. And then, so now you're sitting at that 3,000-yard mark. And then I think the other receivers, the third, fourth, fifth receiver and the running back add a combination of a couple thousand yards. So I think, and remember, I'm not saying that Jalen Miro is going to have 5,000. I think there's going to be some games where other guys come into play. And from what I've seen from DeBoer X, it looks like he may let the dudes play when they come in.
Right. And I think that has been that's probably been really my only complaint from the Saban era. The backups didn't get to play like they were going to be playing in the future.
Yep.
It was run the clock, burn the clock.
Yep. So, hey, as we get ready to get out of here, I want to thank you for being with us this morning. That was the Harvest Church 2-minute warning. It's time for us to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel at 6 a.m. We'll transition some conversation to running backs. We'll also talk about, we have the first scrimmage. Yesterday was the first day in pads. Saturday is the first day that we're going to have a scrimmage. I'll get to go see that as a former player. Won't be able to share any video or anything like that from it, but I'll get to put my eyes on this team that I think has great potential. And as we move out of here, want to encourage you, thank you, appreciate you, all the callers, listeners, viewers, and chatters for being a part of the program. The Martin Houston Show, powered by Box Sports, really appreciates you. And we'll be back tomorrow to keep the conversation rolling. Follow us at The Martin Houston Show on Facebook. Get in on the conversation. I want to tell you, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide, everybody.